Hello, kings and queens. It's Wisdom's daughter, and welcome to the channel where we do reviews, reactions, and some commentary on hot topics, trending news, and all the shenanigans going down in these social media streets. Let me see who we have in the building. All right, let's see who was first in the room. Stacy Dawson was first in the room. Welcome, Queen. I've got Legacy Moon, True Crime and Mysteries, Mai Tai, Shea V in the building, Lynn Tubbs, Mecca Dawn, and Shea Baby. Okay, all right, Shea Baby. Annette Geo in the building. Welcome, Wisdom family, Wisdom ambassadors, and Wisdom VIPs to tonight's live. So, we did a lot of kikiing and laughing and clowning yesterday, as we usually do. But we're going to be getting into something a little bit more serious on this evening. We're going to be talking about the evolution of a predator, Nesto versus Nature Boy. The evolution of a predator, Nesto versus Nature Boy. So I wanted to do this topic because as different stories are coming out in the news, I'm starting to notice a pattern or pattern, as I like to say. And I heard about the story of Nature Boy, and I had not known who Nature Boy was. Apparently, his journey to becoming a cult leader started 7 to 8 years ago. And as I'm doing research on him, I started noticing some striking similarities between him and Nesto. Then we had the Risa Tisa story with Legion, and I said, this concept of a predator is very real, and it really became real when we looked at Ernest Williams, aka Nesto's story, and all of these beautiful, intelligent, career women who got duped and conned and scammed all by the same man. So that's what motivated tonight's live. We're going to be getting into it. I do have a trigger warning up here because we're going to be talking about some things. And to be honest with you, this live is not appropriate for anyone under the age of 18. So you might want to get any of the little kitties out of the room. Go ahead and do that now. All right. So as we get ready to get started, you know what I'm going to ask y'all to do? I'm going to ask y'all to hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you have not already done so, and make sure you turn on your notifications so you never miss out when I go live or upload. So we're going to get into this story. There's a couple of videos that we're going to look at. BBC actually did a documentary on groups of people who kind of live out in nature, and Nature Boy's group was actually featured in this BBC documentary. And we're not going to be actually watching the documentary itself, but we're actually going to have an opportunity to see snippets. There is another content creator who puts together a nice video, almost documentary style, that really captures the full essence of Nature Boy, where he started and how he ended up. And of course, you know how these things go. You start doing research and finding more things and more things. And it is absolutely incredible, the similarities between these two men. It's actually somewhat frightening. So like I said, this is the time that you want to get all little kitties out of the room. I know it's kind of early, but you might want to have them play in a different room, not this one. So let me see who has come into the room since we started, because I do like to greet as many people as I can. So I've got, let's see who's coming. So I've got April Crumpton. How are you, Queen? She says shenanigans time. Absolutely. Well, we are going to be getting into shenanigans, but it's going to be in a different form, right? These shenanigans are in the form of predatory behavior. Okay, so that's the topic for this evening. Okay, I've got Ratio, Michelle Millines. You don't have to tell. Oh, Michael. I'm sorry, King Michael. I ain't got my glasses on. I'm pulling a Sonya tonight. All right, Michael Millines. I've got Bridget, Nikki Love, Opulent Jade. I've got S Dimples 321, Katie Dumbia. All right, I've got Mons 820. And we've got Purple Onyx 971 just became a member. Y'all make sure y'all make this new wisdom ambassador feel welcome. Y'all already know what to do. Throw it up in the chat. Queen, around here, when you become a member, you already know what I'm going to say. We be kin now. That's what we say to all new members. You kinfolk now. We family now. So y'all give a warm welcome to our newest ambassador. Make her feel welcome. You have access to all of the goodies. I have some new things that I'm going to be loading up in members quite soon, and I'll be loading a bunch of stuff over the weekend. So again, thank you and welcome officially to the Wisdom's Daughter family. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into the shenanigans, as April Crumpton said. So, yeah, this story is it's interesting how someone can convince someone to come up off their money. Okay, and both Nesto and Nature Boy does this, but they do it in very different ways. Interestingly enough, one predator actually seeks out his victims in one form or another. The other predator lured his victims in. So these are the interesting parallels between these two men. So as you can see from what we have on the screen, we have Nesto with his wife. We've got Nature Boy on the right with several of his wives or concubines or whatever they're calling themselves. And it's interesting because oftentimes where there is a predator, there is a woman. There is a woman that is being utilized as a tool, as a pawn to lure victims in. Very, very interesting. All right, so I'm going to do one more thing, and then we're going to jump right into this particular story. Give me just a moment. I just want to take some time to share with you about a company that I recently found out about called Butters and Blacksoaps. This is their whipped shea butter, which when I tell you the smell is heavenly, but the feeling on your skin is even better. If you like your skin to glisten and glow, then you need to get you some whipped shea butter. They have mango papaya. They have pina colada and a lavender vanilla scented whipped shea butter. It smells amazing, goes on smooth. I'm only going to tell you about the products that I've tried because I can't tell you about anything I haven't tried. This is their coconut milk and honey African black soap. It is chemical free. When I tell you that it is the cure for dry skin, it is the cure for dry skin, coupled with this right here, this sea moss and argan body cream. This stuff is what I use on my feet. And since I've been using it, my feet are smooth all day long, whether I lotion them or not. So again, Butters and Black Soap, it is a Black-owned company based in Georgia. They offer quality, handcrafted butters, black soaps, and oils made with all natural ingredients, rich in antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. So as I said, if you're looking to achieve a healthy glow, if you're looking to improve your skin, if you are looking to invigorate your skin or stimulate your scalp, grow your hair, they have a number of chemical-free products that are excelente, okay? Par excellence. So if you use the code WISDOM, you can get a 15% discount and you can do all of your shopping at Butters and Black Soap. That's Butters, the letter N, Black Soap. All right, y'all, let's get into our story. So I'm going to start with the end. Okay, when I say the end, I'm going to show you just a snippet of an interview that was attempted with Nature Boy at the end of his journey. So we're going to start at the end and then we're going to go back to the beginning. This is a man who started off very humbly, who decided he just wanted to live a simple life. He was going to eat fruits and vegetables. He was living in one room. Then he decided that he wanted to go live out in nature. And nothing wrong with that, right? Well, let's see the level of his depravity and where he ended up shortly before he was arrested. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and we're going to get into a few minutes of this. Now, someone attempted to interview Nature Boy later on in his journey where he was at this point calling himself Three God. So he started out as Nature Boy, teacher, master teacher. Oh my, he had another name. I can't even pronounce it. It sounded like he was speaking in tongues. I don't know if it was Abu Dhabi, Uba Dhabi, Gooba Gaba, but he had another name. And then he started calling himself Three God. Okay. So here is an attempt to interview Three God. Three God is what he was calling himself.
Keep the knowledge no matter what you do. Keep the knowledge. Hey, my name is Moon, and I'm a student at TV. Central light was activating my genes. Ain't talking dinner, my stuff bust out the seams. My life a movie, you can tell by the scene. Reject nothing, bitch, I know that I'm dreaming. Ayy, symbols tell me what's the meaning. Ayy, hit on my OG, he answered and told me to let go of all of my demons. Ayy, so no one can stop, I'm God. Right, I'm God. Ain't two on myself, it's time to go follow my home.
Nature Boy TV.
Let's start this interview. First of all, I would like to ask you, where did you get the name, the title 3 God? Where did that come from? And why are you calling yourself God now? Where did that come from?
3. Askia 3. 3. Askia 3. 3. Askia 3. I am 3 God. I am from a distant constellation. I have hijacked the body of this being, and I am at 60% downloaded before I am your God.
Y'all heard him, right? Sir is at 60% download before he is your God. So he ain't get to I shouldn't even laugh, but he ain't get to 100% yet. He only at 60%. I don't know if Nature Boy is acting, which he does call himself an actor, as we're gonna see in another documentary style video. But just picture yourself in Sunita Studios' shoes and his wife Napa Shada. Picture yourself trying to interview this man, and this is what he does.
All of the African American people are my people. I am your God. I am the 3 God. I come in 3.
This got to be some type of cult that you're doing here, brother. And a lot of people are saying things like you are putting a heavy spell on the people, like the women and the brothers. What is your response to that?
Woka! 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 Woka!
Okay.
My name is Ka. I am a Ka. America. America. I am a Ka.
I asked the question about as far as the occult, the cults. Is this a cult that's going on? And
I am a Ka, meaning I am a chief. A chief.
Okay. I got my wife here with me, Nepal Shaddai, also my host. Would you like to ask 3 God a question, Nepal? Do you have any questions?
Yes, I do actually have a lot of questions, but first I would like to say welcome to 3 God and his Orishas. When you mentioned that are you an interdimensional being that possessed? Because I want to hear, I'm sure the people are very intrigued about that.
I am your programmer. I am your programmer.
Okay.
I created you.
Oh.
From genetic matter of my mind.
Oh. I see.
So that's what type of time he's on. I created you from genetic matter of my mind. I am your programmer, and you're going to hear his followers talk about being programmed for the program. I'm showing this because now we're going to look at his journey into what I call a state of depravity, where it gets worse and worse. He started out a very humble young man who had made some mistakes. He committed some crimes, went to jail, decided he was going to turn his life around and was doing great. And then suddenly something happened. So the question is, what happened? What caused him to spiral into what you see before you? I'm going to show you one other video, again, to display his level of depravity, because he goes from humble to liking being served to demanding now being served. Now, I'm not going to play the audio because they're playing some kind of strange music in the background. But, you know, he's getting, someone's oiling his scalp. Someone is putting cream on his feet. All right. I guess he can't put his own earrings in his ear. I'm not sure, you know, where they're living at this point, but I know that they were living in a rental home. And you're going to see basically he's being served by women and by men. Look at his face. You know, so he's giving directions, and now here comes a young man who's going to proceed to massage him. Now, sticking to this subject of the evolution of a predator, as we're going to see with Nature Boy, he starts out, like I said, humble beginnings. I want to start a nature group in the wild. We're going to live off the land. Now, this young man is not a licensed masseuse, okay? He's one of his cult leaders who is massaging him. He's gotten foot massages. Once we get through the video that we're now going to watch, I'm going to share with you my thoughts on how he evolved into the predator that is now serving a life sentence plus 10 years. I'm going to share with you my theory as to exactly where he went wrong and how his victims got duped and got caught up, because these con men are very slick. They're very crafty. I'm not going to say that they're so intelligent and very smart. They're crafty. They know how to say exactly what it is that you need to hear. They know how to package a pretty present in the form of something that you feel in the moment you need, that only they can provide for you. So we're going to get into this a little bit more, but you can obviously see that this is no longer the humble young man who started out by just saying, I want to live in the jungle. This is a man who is, he's high off his own self. Let me just say that. He's high off of his own self and his own perceived perception of power. Right. So let's move on to, so this is what you see on the screen here. Let me just share this tab really quickly. This is what Nature Boy's apartment looked like when he started. Okay. This is what it looked like when he started. So we saw his end. We saw where he ended up being, having his feet rubbed, they oiling his scalp, he's getting massages. This is where he started, sleeping on a blanket on the floor in one room, eating out of a paper bag. Okay? That's how we started. Now let's see what happened. How did Nature Boy evolve into the predator that he is known as today, with charges of RAPE and abuse and physical and emotional abuse?
Listen to me very clearly. The ending, the cycle, and the coming of the Christ.
I am the black man. I am God. I love myself.
I love myself, man. You feel me? What I'm doing is beyond Martin Luther King. It's beyond Malcolm X. It's beyond. What I'm doing is beyond all of that.
New disturbing video of Eligio Bishop and cult members.
Eligio Bishop, also known as Nature Boy.
He calls himself Bishop, Nature Boy, Christ.
Guess what? We have a God. We have our Savior. Yes. And his name is Nature Boy. Yes.
DeKalb police arrested Bishop in mid-April after a woman told them she had left a sex cult.
I watched him whip a girl with a leather belt multiple times for 15 minutes straight.
He was extorting money from a young person.
Bishop lived off of other members' PPP loans and life savings.
This is why I decided to leave Melanation.
Brainwashed his ass.
I don't like how the women are being treated.
Tell him who Baba G is. God. Tell him. What Baba G is God? Oh, somebody feels sorry for Tanisha.
He's kind of mad that. Of course he's mad. He's always mad.
It's because we're black. I'm just letting you know that right now.
It ain't because of your color. It's because of your nasty attitude and your crazy eyes.
We in the valley of the shadow of death, and we will fear no evil. But listen, we will be humble.
Sure. Yeah. That's your live right now?
That's my live. Yeah. Your soul. Will be thrown into the abyss.
This video is sponsored by Felix Gray. Felix Gray.
So Tasha K recently did an interview on her channel where she interviewed his female followers, his male followers, because as I said, at this point in time, Nature Boy is sitting in jail. He was tried, convicted, and found guilty of a number of charges, including false imprisonment and rape and a number of other charges. And interestingly enough, one of the women that was in his cult, he actually married for real in Vegas. She goes by the name of Velvet. That is her real name. She said she was forced to marry Nature Boy. And so she did. She married him and she was his one true wife. And then from there, he wanted to engage in polygamy and have relationships with the other wives or the other ladies. Now, these ladies claim that she was just jealous. She wanted him all to herself. She was never supportive or desiring to be in a polygamous relationship. A child resulted from this particular union. I say that because there was one other woman in particular who decided that she wanted to be, quote unquote, not just the wife, but queen, okay, Nature Boy's queen, and fought his legal wife. And ultimately the legal wife leaves the cult and she takes her place. And what happened to this woman is atrocious, absolutely atrocious. She got way more than she bargained for. If we thought that Velvet, his legal wife, was treated badly, what he did to this woman and what he did to these women. And as I said, I had a trigger warning in the beginning when we started, because some of this is going to be very, very difficult to watch.
Joe Bishop, aka Nature Boy, aka Baba G, aka the God or Three God. Yes, he claims to be God, and his followers claim he's God too. He recently got arrested. Nature Boy is in jail right now, and he's charged with R-word and false imprisonment and other things. But there are people who say that there are more crimes that he committed that he's not been charged for. They say he's responsible for someone's death. They also say he's done some really gross things with kids. So the whole thing started on April 13th, 2022 in Decatur, Georgia, when cops raided a home that Nature Boy and his followers were renting. They arrested Nature Boy and took some of his followers in for questioning. Turns out they were investigating Carbon Nation, that's the name of his cult, for weeks. A former member told cops that she had suffered various forms of abuse from Nature Boy and that she tried to leave before, but he wouldn't let her. And she tried another time. She finally left. And when she did, Nature Boy was pissed. She says that in retaliation for her leaving, he posted videos of her having sex online, which is a crime. It's called revenge porn. And so those were the charges. But as I said, some people think he did more, and there might even be evidence of that, but I'll let you guys decide. when the cops raided Nature Boy's home, the neighbors came out and started talking to media. They said Carbonation is his cult. He's been whooping girls, beating girls, fertilizing girls, getting girls ready for marriage, a female neighbor said, not giving her name. And then another neighbor said he controls them. They do what he says. And like I said, it's turned into abuse. The neighbors have been complaining from what I hear. After Nature Boy's arrest, his followers remained loyal. They supported him. They spoke to media. They denied the allegations.
We went by the home Thursday afternoon, and several people who say they are Bishop's disciples came out and talked with me.
Basically, the police raided us on false allegations.
Followers who were at Bishop's home on Arbor Chase the night of the arrest defended their leader and insisted women are not mistreated here.
He says those criminal accusations are from a disgruntled.
I'm sorry, y'all. I was muted. I was muted. What I was saying is thank you so much to In These YouTube Streets for gifting the membership. And I believe it was 50 Creole _50 Californian that got gifted. So y'all give a big thank you to In These YouTube Streets and a warm welcome to 50 Creole _50 Californian. And welcome officially to the Wisdom's Daughter family. Because we be kin now. No, them folks, it wasn't you. It was me. I'm over here having a good old time on mute. So I'm sorry, y'all. I was chewing on some ice and I had it muted and I didn't realize so. But yeah, so throw it up in the chat. We be kin now, because around here, when you become a member, we become kinfolk. Okay, we like family. Okay, we at the family picnic, the family reunion. All right, the family barbecue. We doing all of that. All right. Oh boy, Nightbot, who you reporting to the principal's office? What we done did now? Oh, you reported me. Lord have mercy. I'ma behave, Nightbot. I'ma behave. Don't worry about it. But all right, let's get back into this story. And in these YouTube streets, may your gift return to you tenfold. All right. So the news interviewed his followers. Okay, they interviewed his followers. And of course, the followers are defending him. They're not admitting to any wrongdoing. Now, you know, if the neighbors are talking, it's bad because it wasn't that one nosy neighbor. It was everybody.
Home Thursday afternoon, and several people who say they are Bishop's disciples came out and talked with me.
Basically, the police raided us on false allegations.
Followers who were at Bishop's home on Arbor Chase the night of the arrest defended their leader and insisted women are not mistreated here.
He says those criminal accusations are from a disgruntled former member of the Carbonation family.
The woman that was here, she gave consent to actually release it for sexual education.
They believe in nature, nudity, and kindness.
Everything that happens sexually happens among adults.
Correct.
Yes. Consenting adults.
Correct.
They call him God, literally.
God is a very loving being. He's very caring. He's very
holy. This is a revolving door, and you can come in and out as you please. No one is going to hold you against your will.
Women come here, they don't get their way, and they go against the black man.
Black man is God.
The black man is God.
And y'all just locked up the Messiah.
Remember when I did the Mother God cult video, how they were always live streaming and they had a YouTube channel? Well, this is the same thing. They have YouTube channel, they go on Instagram live, they use other platforms to go live on. So there's so much like content of what they did.
And she's not lying, because when I tell you doing research for this, I mean, I spent hours going through so much video footage. I told you guys that it goes back 8 years. I'm going to be linking a link to her YouTube channel down in the chat, because she has a number of other documentaries just about this, just about cults in general and this cult culture that you may find interesting. All right.
Nature Boy's wife, he has like a wife, and then he has concubines, I guess you would call them. So his wife and concubines, they went on a live after his arrest and they defended him. They're like, he's God, he's the Messiah.
You cannot box with God. They are simply throwing little pebbles and little stones. We've been fighting for freedom, We have a God. We have our Savior.
Yes.
And his name is Nature Boy. Yes.
Who is our God to worship? It is three gods. He's literally our Messiah.
You know
He's
what?
literally Jesus in the flesh.
People wait till after they gone.
Ooh. Modern day Jesus is here.
Yeah.
And you will not shush him up. He is the melanated God. He is the first, he is the melanated God that all people come from.
Exactly.
And you judge us. And you throw stones at us when we trying to bring you truth.
In addition to that, his other followers, because he has male and female followers, they called him, probably he called them from jail, and they recorded that call and live streamed it as well.
So nothing's on the camera.
Yeah. On the camera? Was the SD card in the camera? We cleared it like yesterday or 2 days. Like it was only footage from today.
No, they took the laptop and the hard drive.
They took your laptop and hard drive.
So he's in jail, and they're talking to him. I'm reading the comments because I'm seeing all type of stuff. This is supposed to be a deity who's referring to women as bitch and a whole host of other names.
Yeah, them charges bogus. Nobody, how you gonna rape a prostitute? But we don't even know.
They were trying to blame you.
So I said no.
I said that SHIT, Neytiri, the sex worker. So Neytiri might have been one of the ones who was attempting to flee. And ultimately what got Nature Boy in trouble was twofold, as we're going to learn. So one is that he had a Caucasian woman join his group who had run away from Canada. And once they located her and they realized where she was, of course, they were concerned. And it shed a whole lot of light, and the feds and everybody was looking, and basically they were following them ever since. That young lady left, he allowed her to leave willingly. She said she was going to go back to, her family. And so that was when the heat got put on Nature Boy. But then one of his followers left the group, and he posted revenge corn. I'm saying it with the C, of her and another lady engaged in fellatio together on him. All right. And that's what they do. So they say you're free to leave, but then they do things like this. And you heard what this guy said. How can you essay an ex-worker? I don't care what the occupation is. No means no. Point blank, period.
One at a time.
They was asking if you need assistance, do you need some help? We have an organization we can help you with. I was like, no, I don't know you people. I don't want to talk to you. Some help. We have options for you.
Yeah.
But I didn't. First of all, I don't trust that man. I don't even know him.
Why y'all keep doing this? It's because the people that hate me
Yeah.
are united.
Yeah.
So you have to get people that love me together.
Yeah.
We'll see you soon. Yeah,
In the call, Nature Boy mentions how he hopes he gets bail.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't. He didn't get bail.
A risk to intimidating the victim. There's also a risk of flight.
and also the risk of committing an additional felony. So therefore, bond will be denied.
Outstanding.
To understand how we got here, we need to go back to the beginning. Before Nature Boy was Nature Boy, when he was Eligio Bishop. According to an ex-member, her name is Erica Carroll. She said, quote, "I know his mother and father died while he was a young age, so he was in foster homes, in and out of foster homes, and a couple did adopt him, and there was some abuse going on in that situation, so he had it hard. But we've all had it hard. Everybody had it hard. He's originally from New York, but he ends up in Atlanta, Georgia. And according to him, he said that while he was in Atlanta, he was a stripper, a gay escort. He did gay porn. He says that he was also a model, and he claimed to have worked, I'm not sure in which capacity, on the Monique show, the stand-up comedian Monique. She had a talk show, and he claimed that he worked on that show as well. He also had a criminal record. In 2009, he was charged with forcible entry. And then in 2011, he was charged with theft and aggravated battery. And then he also had some charges for like driving with a suspended license. In 2014, he decided he was going to leave the life of crime behind and he was going to go legit. And so he got his license to be a barber. That license lapsed at around the same time that he started his YouTube channel in December of 2015. And he shows how he's living. And, you know, I noticed that he had like the chakra candles and he was vegan. He was showing the vegan food that he was eating.
Now, if you guys saw the live that I did initially on this story about a week ago or so, I talked about, or we kind of went in depth in his journey, right? To see how did Nature Boy get here, right? How did he end up, you know, in jail, being sentenced with life plus 10 years. And what happened with Nature Boy is after the life of crime, he decides, you know what, I need to get a trade. And he ultimately goes to barber school. He gets, you know, he completes the program, he gets his barber license, and his goal was to start his own barbershop. So he rents a room, he's using that as his barbershop. And he says, you know, I need to just not be cutting, you know, hair randomly. I need a clientele. And so he decides that he's going to market to and seek out the gay community because he felt that homosexual men tend to, they like to look nice. They like to smell good. They're a little bit extra, more so than straight men. And so that was the clientele that he targeted. Now, we would later learn that while he was an adult entertainer, he was also a male escort, and he also did male entertainment in the form of gay porn. Okay, he did a video which he ultimately denies to his followers, and then once he gets outed on social media, then he comes clean and says, yes, you know, it was me, I did it. And he goes from there to trying to justify, because Nature Boy, what he would do was he would have these teachings and he would do them live on Facebook. And then later it went from Facebook to Instagram to YouTube. And that's also how he made a lot of his money as well. But I tell you, if you just go on YouTube and just type in Nature Boy 3 God, you're going to have more videos than you can possibly count. Like I said, just the YouTube channel Nature Boy TV goes back to 2015. So it's going back eight or 9 years if my math is correct. And so Nature Boy then goes from I'm not homo to I didn't do anything to I did do it, but I'm not homosexual to why is this the problem anyway? And the Black community needs to not be homophobe, and this needs to be acceptable, and it's okay, and you know, and all these other things. So let's keep going.
Eating, and soon after, by 2016, Nature Boy was born.
I love my self-reflection. Share the video.
At first, he called his group the Ethereans, but then he changed it to Melanation.
They called themselves Melanation.
Melanation in the building. We got the whole family.
Melanation gets its name from melanin, the pigment in our bodies that determines our skin color.
Nature Boy told his followers that he was leaving hell, aka the United States, aka Babylon. He was going to leave, did I voice correct? Babylon. He wanted to go off grid. He wanted people to come with him. They'll create like a community in nature, hence the name Nature Boy. And he started to get people who wanted to join him. First, he went to Honduras and he would show like how we're living in Honduras to get more people to come. He claimed that he was the chosen one. He also told his followers that they were chosen. I think he even has a video of like how to tell if you're chosen. The idea was to have this like paradise on earth and disconnect from the material world with all of its problems. And so one of the original members of this group is Erica Carroll. She is now an ex-member and she calls it a cult.
I call it a cult now, yes. Yes, I do.
So Erica arrives in Honduras and Nature Boy picks her up. And one of the first things he does is give her a new name because her name Erica, that's her Babylon name. He gives her a new name, which is BP, stands for Blueprint, because she's one of the first early members of his group. A few months after arriving in Honduras, they drive in a van, they go to Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, this is what Erica said happened. Quote, she says, we slept outside in tents. We wouldn't live in the house. We would get up, eat fruit because we had to eat vegan or vegetables, and we would get to work. When I got there, I felt I had a pretty good self-esteem and self-confidence. But after every day being there and told, you're not doing this right, you're so wrong. When I left, I felt like my self-esteem was so low. I had no confidence. We'd have to sit in these long meetings. He'd say we'd be facing our demons while doing that. But basically, he's just projecting onto you what he has going inside of him. It was a lot of verbal and mental abuse. Erica then describes the breaking point when she knew she had to leave. That's when she saw Nature Boy basically hitting one of the women.
He slapped her up and punched her a couple of times, and then he told her to go in the tent and give him oral sex. So that was the breaking point for me.
When certain members would leave, new members would come.
So you heard what she said. She said that he was projecting. He was projecting a lot of his own his own depraved mentality and thinking and devilish and devious desires onto his cult followers and the women and even the men who followed him. So I put in the chat, if you've ever seen Ruthless on BET Plus, this is Tyler Perry's show about the Rakumas, that's the cult that they're called. They wear like the purple. They almost wear like, it looks like the Muslim hijab, if I'm pronouncing that right. And I put in the chat, I wonder if that's what Tyler Perry got the idea from, because Nature Boy's story almost mimics Ruthless to the teeth. It's surprisingly interesting. Legacy Moon, True Crime and Mystery said, yes, the catching ceremony. Absolutely. Hi, Dimples Wimples. So we're going to kind of see how things escalate. And like I said, once this is over, I'm going to kind of pinpoint for you where I think the exact moment where things really started to go downhill for Nature Boy. And when I say downhill, he might have thought he was going uphill for him, but it was really a downhill spiral because something happened to him in the midst of him starting this barbershop. And he misinterpreted that one thing, and it led him to what we see now.
And when the new members came, it was the same process. You give them a new name, get rid of your Babylon name, and of course, money. He would take their money. He would tell them that money was a distraction from their worship and they shouldn't be connected to the material world, but that he needed the money so that he could, create the safe space for them to worship him, of course.
He was extorting money from a young person.
So I literally gave my money to him.
How much money did you give?
Well, I just gave him my debit card.
Somebody donated me about $300,000. It's all gone now.
And then, of course, on these live streams, he would ask for money, for donations. He would constantly mention his CashApp and he would say, don't hate, donate. He had something against bathrooms. I don't know what it is, but he discouraged bathing and also pooping in toilets. He said that the only place you should poop is on a tree, like at the base of a tree. That's where you should poop.
What's Nature Boy like? Because he's quite the character, isn't he?
Yeah, when I watched the video, I felt like I need to be with him. I was with Melanation within like 2 weeks.
So that's the Caucasian young lady that I was telling you about that came from Canada. When she came into the camp, stirred up a lot of trouble for Nature Boy. Her family was concerned, even though she's telling him that her family, is the cult, and we'll get into that in just a second, but hang on just a moment, because we have a new wisdom ambassador. All right, we've got Trucker D in the building. Welcome. And you already know how this goes, Trucker D. We begin now. And thank you so much for making it official. And let me welcome you to the Wisdom's Daughter family officially. Y'all throw it up in the chat. We begin now and give a warm wisdom welcome to our newest wisdom ambassador, Trucker D. All right now. So this young lady leaves Canada. She finds out. Let me just backtrack. People were finding Nature Boy on social media. College students were finding him on Facebook and on YouTube. He wasn't going out there recruiting people. He was just, recording and making people feel a sense of belonging. When he says, I love myself, he actually spells it with a C, not an S. And basically he says, hey, reflection, meaning that they are a reflection of him. And so when he spoke, he made it feel like he was speaking directly to them. So these people got sucked in. They got sucked in. Okay. And this young lady was one of them. Her story is very interesting.
You don't use the toilet?
Well, we really don't like using toilets. The soil belongs to the trees, and I'm in an abusive relationship with the tree if I'm not giving it back.
And also, you don't need soap, just water, like in the natural waters in nature. So, as you can imagine, there were lots of odors going on. Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, I have like a bunch of videos on them. They would mix like Mormon things with New Age things and like occult things, and it was like a mishmash. This is kind of similar. He would mix like Abrahamic religions with New Age spirituality, yoga, as well as like, what do you call it? Astrology. That would explain this video that I found where he's basically dressed in Middle Eastern garb, and then he's sitting above his followers while he talks about astrology and the ego.
What is the ego?
Good question. The ego. What is the ego? You can tell me what the ego is.
Ego is one sense of self.
One sense of self. Exactly. The ego is our conscious mind. Simply.
So y'all see down here in the right-hand corner, did y'all catch that? The meek shall inherit the earth. So one of the things that Nature Boy did is he took bits and pieces of the Christian Bible, and he kind of paraphrased it into his teaching and how he spoke. And so to the point where a lot of his followers didn't even realize that he was actually quoting the Bible. I had never heard anybody speak this way, and the things that he said, and a lot of people were thinking that these were his words. And so there are little things, subliminal messages. The meek shall inherit the earth. Well, I want to inherit the earth. I want to be great. I want to go to a higher plane. I want to reach, the highest heaven. He presented something in a manner that made them think that he had what they needed, and that if they would just go there, if they could just get to him, they could get what they needed. And once they were there, they were almost trapped.
And we have taken something called pride, or what we protect ourselves with, as a protective mechanism. For instance, if you're a Leo or you're Aries, you might have a lot of pride. So what they call the ego would be your pride. You see what I'm saying? And we mix up the ego with arrogance. These are characteristics of the conscious mind. But the ego is simply your astrological program. Yes?
It's giving Dubai meets yoga guru meets bullshit.
It's given. He sound like he just got out of jail. Y'all have heard these men that come out of jail with a higher sense of enlightenment, and now they figured it out. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever encountered anyone, but in my neighborhood, it seemed like people would just be going to jail, one after the other. And when they would come out, it was like a whole different person. I don't know who they encountered in jail, but they would come out just talking and saying the strangest things. And In Living Color was notorious for having a segment where somebody would come out of jail talking that jail talk, and you're like, what are you saying? Anyway.
Okay. I don't know how people fall for this and the whole persona and what he's wearing. Like, okay, but he had followers. That's the part that always gets me, is these people have followers. Like, maybe I should start a cult. It seems lucrative. Remember my video about Mother God, how she would be like, ding, I'm receiving a message from the Galactic Federation. Well, Nature Boy's thing was 333, 333, 333. So then now the polygamy thing, he didn't introduce it at first. Like, he eased them into it. At first, actually, they were couples that he made. Like, he would match the couples up, and he had a girlfriend or a wife, and other members had their, I think he called them their direct or something like that. And then, though, he would like snatch the wife from another male member, almost like a power play. At least that's my interpretation. So at this point, things are going really good for Nature Boy. Okay, he has his concubines, he's pooping in trees, he's making money from live streams, he has a YouTube channel. Things are going good for now, until something happened. He got deported from Costa Rica. Turns out they had overstayed their visas. A lot of them had expired passports, expired documents.
Look at his eye. Look at his eye. It's all good though. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we're not going to be stopped. They can't stop this.
But I'm getting ahead of myself, because first I need to explain to you melanation and how, like, what it is and how it changed.
The group believed that living in the sunshine of the tropics can make them superior beings. But this belief seems to be based on a discredited racial theory that the darker a person's skin becomes, the more their intelligence increases.
So if you lack melanin, you are genetically retarded.
His plan was to create a community entirely of what he called melanated people. But as it grew, white people were admitted. Anyone could now be melanated and gain greater enlightenment by getting brown in the sun of Costa Rica.
This is when Kayla Reed enters the scene.
I messaged Nature Boy this exact same day.
People saying it's a cult.
Canada's a cult, like the US is a cult. Everyone is a part of a cult.
My friend, and I've let everybody know your name.
I'm Ray.
Yeah.
He's from
Ray.
Clarkson.
How did
Ray.
you pop up here?
Sun Ray.
Sun Ray. Ray's here. Wait, isn't Nature Boy a prejudice? Isn't he racist? How does he have white people there? Reflection. This hardware that you are now looking at, this hardware is a mutation hardware from the archetype. You cannot become the archetype or be the archetype without having the archetype software consciousness. Thank you.
And this is what changed a lot of things for Nature Boy, because this brought him a lot of negative publicity, because Kayla was, first of all, she was Canadian and she went missing. Like, she joined them, but she didn't tell anyone. So her family thought she was missing. So this whole thing happens where they're looking for her, she's missing, and then they find out she's with Nature Boy in Costa Rica, and people are like, she joined a cult. So then her mom goes out and she's talking to media, and she's like, my daughter, she's joined a cult, she's brainwashed. And then the media, like the Canadian media, go to Costa Rica looking for her. They end up finding Nature Boy and doing an interview with him.
We are inside of our own bodies.
Nature Boy.
Each individual holographically. Go ahead.
I want to talk about the girl that we know as Kayla.
I don't know a Kayla.
Sunray.
Oh, Sunray, yes, she is healthy. She is beautiful. Oh, she is the happiest that, she says she's ever been. We all encourage her to just go live and let people know that you're okay and speak your own mind and tell them what's going on, because she's actually afraid of the people that she ran away from. I made sure that she got in contact with the police station there in Canada. I also make sure that she got in contact with her mother, and I'm a black man. And she's a white girl. She's in a white girl form, and I'm in a black man body. And I also know that it might seem to the world that I'm holding her hostage. So I wanted to make it clear that, call your people, let them know you okay, because I don't want no problems on this end. That's why I'm doing this interview with you, because I don't want any problems.
So she can leave if she chose to leave.
Oh, yes.
In response to this, Kayla's mother comes out and she says, quote, "I was happy to hear that she was okay, but in the background, you could hear Nature Boy more or less telling her what to say. The conversation was very disturbing," she said. "He was saying that they were her family, and it was a very disturbing conversation. Kayla is not thinking clearly right now. I think he has her brainwashed, and she's more or less doing whatever he says to do." According to Tammy Reed, Kayla's mom, Kayla has mental health issues, and she feels like that's why she's sucked into this cult. The thing is, though, she's an adult. And so at first it was a missing persons case. When they found out that she was in this cult, but she was willingly with them, she came out, she said, "I don't want to be with my family. I want to be here." They really couldn't do anything about it. Eventually, though, for whatever reason, Kayla decides to leave, and she does this live stream with Nature Boy where they explain why she's leaving.
So, yeah, I'm going back to Canada mainly because of the safety of us. I don't want anybody getting hurt because I'm here.
So why did you leave in the first place?
We can't own.
Why did you leave? Why don't you tell them why you left in the first place? Did I call you like, "Hey, come join us, be here with us"? Am I controlling or manipulating your mind?
I was gonna leave Canada even before I found Nature, so I got put on pills because I want to leave.
So basically, her family, she's saying that her family just basically put you on medication because you try to leave, like she tried to go to Hawaii before she got here.
Yeah,
I didn't know this. I didn't know, but I did ask her before she got here, "Do you have crazy parents?" She was like, "Well, they don't matter. I throw my phone away," because we had someone here else that was white that got snatched out of here before. There's another thing I want to address. It seems to be that you might not be able to join me if you're white. If you want to join Nature Boy, you're not allowed to join me anymore. What you are allowed to do is do what I did. I'm leading by example. I haven't been the most pleasant personality. I will admit that. I've said the truth in a mean way. Like I said it in a firm, authoritative way. And sometimes I get so mad about the evils in the world that when I speak, I could come off so strong. But my heart is pure and my message is pure. And I want to apologize if I offended anybody in any kind of way. And I'm sure Sunray wanted to speak for herself before you get back, because they're probably going to try to isolate you and try to twist your words around and speak for you. And so don't worry about the comments. Don't read those. This is how we will destroy the planet. Destroy the cancer on the planet.
Reporter starts talking to other ex-members of Nature Boy's group, and they did not have good things to say at all.
So that reporter is the BBC reporter that came down to do the story. And wait a minute. Shea is cutting up. She said they tried to get a spirit flight smelling like Badussi and hot garbage. Now I'm trying not to laugh because this is a serious situation. Oh my God, Shea, the Nightbot is going to send you to the principal's office. Lynn Tubbs said, "My cousin joined the cult about 30 or so years ago, stopped all communication with everybody, and to this day we have no idea where she is living. or even if she is alive. And that's sad. That is, unfortunately what can often and does often happen with these cults. The crazy thing to me is this is 2024 and we're still dealing with cult behavior. It's 2024 and we are still dealing with cult behavior. And my goal with this video, it's not even about entertainment. It's really about educating ourselves on some of the red flags, because any one of us can get caught up. As smart as we think we are, oh no, we always say it will never happen to us until it does. Somebody told Shirley 15 years ago that she was going to meet a man who talks like he has a second grade education, that was going to that she was going to marry him and end up damn near homeless, sleeping on an air mattress in the back room of a friend's house. She probably would have told you were crazy. Oh, I would never. Okay. If somebody had told the real estate agent, Gail Bickham, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, that in 2021, she was going to reconnect with a one Ernest Williams, aka Nesto, and she was going to end up giving this man almost 200 grand of her money, she probably would have told you, what you smoking, right? So it can happen to the best of us. It can happen to the best of us. And I think knowledge is power in understanding how these things happen. It may not be us. It could be a friend. It could be a friend. It could be a relative, as Lynn Tubbs has shared her story.
If Nature Boy is not done talking or done doing this, then we don't go to sleep. I got in trouble for missing a meeting, and what I was doing was putting him to sleep.
Is it a cult?
It is.
Videos were emerging online of former followers attacking him.
It ain't because of your color, it's because of your nasty attitude and your crazy eyes.
What's your relationship like with Nature Boy now?
I don't even talk to him.
Not at all.
So I literally gave my money to him.
How much money did you give?
Well, I just gave him my debit card. He was buying a lot of materialistic objects.
It's about how you use the material thing. It's not
Yeah,
about
of
what the
course.
material thing means.
But do you really need a ping pong table?
Do you need sportsmanship to foster brotherhood? Yes, that is a utility. It's not just an object.
No, of course, yeah.
We got a call. It was Nature Boy.
It's not behind your back if he's gonna interview you, though, right? It's about the movement. It's not about you anymore. He's kind of mad that.
Of course he's mad. He's always mad.
This is why I decided to leave Melanation.
Brainwashed his ass.
I don't like how the women are being treated.
Ran everybody that was there out.
Around this time, the name of the group changes again. Instead of Melanation, it's now Carbon Nation. He's known as Nature Boy, but also as like 3 God, 333.
333.
As the Messiah, he can heal people. He can heal people. He believes that all illnesses or diseases come from the mind, and that it's all a mind, for like a mindset thing. And he believes that he has the power to heal. And if you just go in the sun, eat your fruits, think positively, you're going to be totally healed. And he's preaching that. Well, remember how I told you some people think he's responsible for his followers' death?
You influenced her to stop taking her medications. You actually influenced her to stop taking her medication. That's why she passed away the way she did.
Well, the person that most people reference is someone called Mama Dia. Now, her real name is Magdalena Sevilla, and she had a heart condition.
I'm taking medication for my heart, but I don't have that anymore. I've been grounded, eating the right on the B6 diet, so that has helped me.
It was Nature Boy that encouraged her not to take her medication, and so she didn't. She stopped taking her medication, and she died 2 months after she joined the cult. Some people blame Nature Boy for her death, allegedly. Don't sue me. There was something else that he did, and that was just be a horrible person. He just treated everyone like shit. There is an ex-member. Her name is Velvet.
The wife of a reported cult leader wants to tell her side of the story.
He literally held me hostage. He took all of my identification, my passport,
my birth certificate, my social, my bank cards.
She gave him her $3,000.
That was his legal wife. That's Velvet. Okay, this is the one that he had a child with, who he forced to fight another concubine or another follower for her spot as queen. And she ran away from the cult 3 times. She joined, she left.
College fund. She says Bishop, the leader of the so-called cult Carbonation, went from spoiling her to abusing her when she got pregnant.
I was forced to engage in sexual activity that I did not want to do. I was still strangled on multiple occasions.
At this time, she's like his main girl, and he ends up getting her pregnant. She has a baby, and then there's this awful live stream.
But once you get emotional, you think it's okay to.
All right. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. Okay. This was probably one of the hardest parts about this whole documentary. I'm calling it watch. Okay. So if anyone feels that they're going to be disturbed because we're not going to see what happens, but we're going to hear it, it's okay. You can click out of the video and just give yourself like a minute and a half and come back. I don't want to cause anyone anxiety. Okay.
Drop the moral code, right? Everything is cool with you until you get emotional. The only reason why you upset is because you caught.
I've been here all day in this spot. I did yoga in this spot. I was at yoga in this spot. I was sleeping in this spot, and I came back to this spot.
Your dishonesty is less than moral, because it'd be different if you could admit what I seen. Yo, sit down. Sit down, yo. The baby's in your hand, yo. Hold on real quick. Hold this real quick. So the baby's in your hand, yo.
You think I should keep this rolling?
No, please.
Velvet left the group.
Yeah. Okay. We didn't see what happened, but we heard it. We heard a baby that was just nursing, that was quiet, screaming at the top of its lungs, and I'm that I'm hungry scream, I'm tired, I don't feel well. It was a struggle scream. I don't know if he put his hands on that baby, but we definitely heard her screaming, which means he put his hands on her. All the while, somebody's just filming the vegetables, the fruits, and they just going to, business as usual. Nobody went into that room to help her. How Velvet got away is she said, you know what, y'all, let's just have a good time. Nature Boy started drinking. And once he started drinking, he began to really change and become more violent. She said she herself rolled their cannabis cigarettes, and she got everybody drunk. She pretended to drink, but she wasn't really drinking, the alcohol. And when everyone was passed out, she packed one bag. She found her passport, took whatever couple of dollars she had. She didn't even have enough to get a taxi to the airport, but she called an Uber. And even though she didn't have enough money, the Uber driver agreed to take her to the airport anyway. Now, why she did this, I don't know, but she called Nature Boy on her way to the airport and let him know, I'm out. Don't look for me. Don't call me. I'm gone. So, of course, he follows her to the airport, but at that point, there's nothing he can do. She gets on a plane and she is out and she never returns.
Group and listen to the disgusting reason why Nature Boy wanted to have kids with different women at the same time. This is according to Velvet. She said, he stated to me that the reason why he wanted all of the wives was that he wanted to impregnate all of us so that we can have his children, so that he can meet his children together, so that he can inbreed. Did you throw up in your mouth a little bit? Because I did. So, although Nature Boy had like all these wives, there were lots of gay rumors about him or bisexual or something. Now, I don't care. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because it becomes a theme, and Nature Boy brings it up a lot.
I went into the flow of it and I asked the universe, I want to know, what makes someone homosexual? Like, honestly, I want to know, why are there homosexual people in the world? Why does it exist in nature? Why do we do that? The answer came through me in the flow of my teaching. It just came out of me. The answer just came, and it was so crisp. If we don't live in a world that allows females to express themselves completely in freedom, and so that we can get the most out of them collectively, then we summon the homosexual spirit. Nature does this to bring balance. Homosexuals, they have high IQs. Their creative level is out the roof because they tap into divine feminine. And they get status because they're smarter. They're made smart. They have a high IQ, right? So that gay people are very smart. When I learned this, I was amazed. When I learned this, I was like, oh, wow. I never thought about the metaphysical reasons of being homosexual. I never thought of them. They tell me I have a disease. They said, you're sick. And they repeated it and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it and repeated it. I don't believe in going to no doctor to put no spell on me to sell medicine to me. I feel good. One person has herpes, that's a human being. We all have herpes. So I wanted to understand disease, to teach about disease. A virus is an entity that cannot reproduce on its own. Hello! When you call me something, trust me. I go do my research very deeply. I know that me personally am not a
And so, sorry guys, I was unmuted. What I was saying is that, this teaching about, disease and all these things is the very reason why one of his cult members died. Okay. He convinced her to stop taking her medication and she died. Okay. He's also talking about he wants to understand disease. And I felt like he probably has a disease. He probably has something. He mentions herpes. He's got something. And he wants to understand how he can convince or con them into thinking that a virus is not what it really is and that he's safe. That's what I was thinking.
Homosexual. I know that I have no diseases, but if one of us have a disease, then we'll all have a disease, because they're calling me the one with HIV and I don't have HIV, unfortunately. But I do have HIV as far as what we all are. If one person has it, we all have it. I literally took an HIV test and it didn't even matter. HIV is cancer. Holy shit. I would have a transsexual wife, and I will. And I will. I do like transsexuals because I'm attracted to that. And I have to be honest about that. I don't feel like that makes me gay because I look at her as a woman. So the best head I ever got was from a transsexual. Unfortunate.
So mean, insensitive to so many people. Oh, world peace immediately. Michael, take me away.
Yeah, so you want to talk about mental illness at its finest or at its fullness? This is it. This is a full-on psychotic break. Now he talks about I muted it because of the music. He talks about the fact that he's acting, and he's an actor, and this, that, and the third. But he had men there, and this is how he's talking.
Really controls your health. Guys, do your yoga. Yes, I love yoga. Do you love yoga? I love yoga. Okay, so guys, listen. I'm a producer. I'm an actor. I'm an actor. Guys, I'm an actor. I'm just not for sale. I'm probably the best actor you've ever seen in your life.
In addition to him treating the women in the cult like shit, he also treated the men like shit. He would smack them. He would degrade them. He would make them go and like bring him water and like, feed him the water. He would make them feed him food. Then he would get mad and smack them if they gave him like a strawberry instead of something else.
Did I ask for a strawberry? Bitch, did I ask for a strawberry? Huh? No, my sweet. Don't you ever in your motherfucking life give me no motherfucking strawberry unless I ask for one, motherfucker.
The whole thing, like, let me tell you. See, at first, I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be 100% honest. When I was editing the footage, I was laughing. But then, after watching it over and over again, it wasn't funny anymore. Then I was sad because it's ridiculous, like in the beginning, but then when you look at their eyes, not Nature Boy, because he has crazy eyes, but when you look at the other followers' eyes, they're like dead inside. They're broken. They look sad. They look like they have nothing left. And it's like, how bad do you have to feel about yourself to accept this shit? It's like they're probably saying worse things to themselves than what he's saying. That's why they're accepting that. And that's sad.
They're brainwashed, literally brainwashed.
Now that he's in jail, that maybe they love themselves, maybe forgive themselves for whatever they're punishing themselves for. They release their shame, have some self-respect, because nobody deserves to be treated like this. It's just awful. Now, if you thought that was bad, it gets worse. Brace yourself and consider this your trigger warning. The next clip I'm about to play is Nature Boy, in his own words, talking about what he does with his son. And this is your trigger warning for SA and children and stuff like that. Tap, tap, tap until the clip goes off the screen of Nature Boy if you don't want to hear this.
You know why I don't let kids around me, other people kids around me? Because the way I am. When I see my son, this is how I treat my son. We naked together. I take bath with my kids. I'm naked with my kids. I have sex in front of my kids. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be making love to his mama. That's how I get down around kids. I try to keep their purity. My son comes up and grabs my penis. I let him grab my penis. I say, yeah, look, you got one too. And he laughing. And the moment is over. It's pure. I make love to their mama right in front of them. Like a real man. That's how I get down, homie. I think I am a child. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I'm pure in my mind and children are pure. I like to embrace the kids. Like, come here, I like to fuck with their psyche. And if I...
So this is where I wonder about Nature Boy's upbringing. Okay, we heard that he was in foster care. It's been said that his foster mom beat him. I think it was a whole lot more than that going on. I don't have any proof of it, but I feel that he was probably violated by a man because of his tendency and his partiality to homosexual acts and transsexuals and transvestites and things like that. I'm wondering what was done to him that he's now projecting. I don't know how old he was when he went into foster care, but he is definitely suffering from some type of mental illness. He absolutely has to be. I don't know any person that will feel comfortable doing what he said he does. Now, I may have one friend that said that they tried it one time while the baby was in the bed asleep. And even I called them out. It was like, that's disgusting. I could never do that with my child in the bed with me. I, mm. um, he makes excuses for his behavior, very much like Nesto, who we're going to get into shortly. Now, Nesto's story is a little bit more well known, which is why I started with Nature Boy. Someone actually said to me that when they looked at Nature Boy and Nesto, they said that they looked alike. Their stories kind of line up. The fact that they both kind of were living the career criminal lifestyle for a while, theft by taking, theft by deception, armed robbery, the whole barbershop, right? Nature Boy talks about the idea of this 24-hour barbershop in a different video. And when I heard that, I said, boom, I wonder if it's possible that he did time in jail around the time that Nesto did time in jail. That would take a whole lot more research to try to find out if they ever did cross paths, but their stories are eerily similar. It's just one goes all the way left, and that is Nature Boy.
I did that around other people's kids, they would put me under the fucking jail. You can't be a real human. That's why I don't let nobody kids here but mine, homie. Because I ain't about to alter my life for no one. I walk around naked.
You know what? I hope you get shanked in the urethra in prison. With love. 333. On a lighter note, because we need to lighten the mood just a little bit. On a lighter note. So remember how I told you he kept getting deported in Central America? Well, one of the times they got deported, they had to board a plane, right? Because they were deported. Well, they were kicked off the plane. Why?
Spirit Airlines won't let us on the flight because they said we stink, but nobody stinks. We need a lawyer. We need to it's like a lawsuit has to be done about this. It's crazy.
So God needs a lawyer. God needs a lawyer. Okay.
We don't stink. They said that we can't get on the plane because we stink. They said we can't get on the plane because we stink. They said we can't get on the plane because we stink, bro. It's because we're black. I'm just letting you know that right now. Make this go viral, y'all. Can you tell us why we got off this flight? Why did they tell us to get off the flight?
You can go in this flight because some passengers say that you smell.
But you saying the passengers said that we smell?
Yes.
We don't be eating anything that stinks.
Yes, Nature Boy, y'all stink. Okay, like hot garbage. Not garbage, garbage.
Remember, right?
Matter of fact, they probably smell like hot cabbage. That's what they smell like. Hot cabbage and chitlins.
They don't bathe, and they're in the sun all the time. Sweating plus not bathing equals smell. I don't care who you are. And the saddest part was there's a clip where one of the guys like lifting up his arm to smell himself. And it's like, we've all been there. I felt bad. Okay, let me tell you what happened to me one time. I was using natural aluminum-free deodorant, and
Lord have mercy. We already know what happened with that. Has anyone ever used or tried Tom's deodorant? Yeah, so someone convinced me, oh, you got to go natural. You got to use Tom's. I already know what she's going to say. I tried that one time and never again. It was, I tried that. No, sorry, it wasn't Tom's. It was some kind of crystal. Some type of crystal something that's supposed to make you alkaline or whatever it is. I rolled that thing under my arms, and I didn't even get through half the day when I was like, nope. Went to the store. I got some bath wipes. I got me some real deodorant, and that was that.
Okay, it sucks to smell, and it makes you insecure. I just felt bad. Like when I saw the video, even though it was funny, kind of when he's like, we don't smell, we don't stink, they all look demoralized. And I'm sure if he said we can bathe, they all would have bathed, but they're listening to his stupid rules. And anyway, they end up getting on a flight later on, and they go back to the US. They go from place to place, in the US, and they end up going to Hawaii because they want to be tropical, near the equator, the sun, and they end up getting arrested in Hawaii. Remember, right? Pandemic la freak sa chic. They broke quarantine rules. There's like a 14-day quarantine. They were not quarantining. It was just a little bit like they got released soon after. Now, remember Velvet, the ex-member I told you about? Well, they got arrested June 2020 in Hawaii. By August 2020, she says Nature Boy forced her to marry him in Vegas, in one of those Vegas chapels of all places. She said, he stated in front of us that if anything happened to him, then I would be able to bail him out of any jail or prison or anything like that. And that was the reason for him marrying me, other than the fact that he wants to completely destroy me as a person. Velvet said that now that she had her daughter, now that she was starting to see the abuse through the eyes of her daughter, she couldn't take it anymore. And then finally, November 2020, she leaves, and she leaves for good. She said that it took her a while. She would sneak and get a document here, a document there. Velvet was the main wife. They would call her the queen. Well, she's gone now. So there's a new queen, Malia. And wow, he treated her like shit. If that's how he treats the queen, I don't want to know how he treats the peasant.
Come over here like she act like you want to be over here. Act like you want to be over here. Come on over here. Come on over here. She ain't leaving soon because you were Aries. Tell him. Tell him when you get closer. Huh? You want me in jail, don't you? Go ahead, devil. Go ahead, devil. Abuse. Yes, I'm abusing them. Now to come do something about it. You know you're trying to make these people feel sorry for you. Ain't nobody feeling sorry for you.
So he starts making her say all type of stuff. Who is God? Oh, Baba G. Who is God? Baba G.
Leave. Do you want to leave, Malia? Tell them what happened if you leave here. You'll go crazy, won't you? Yeah. Tell them who Baba G is. God. Tell them.
Somebody said, Malia, go ahead and get your shot in now because he's going to beat you tonight. You see?
Call the police. Put him.
Somebody said, nah, don't disrespect her, King. I'm just reading the comments. Lock your bedroom door at night. I mean, this is what they were going through. That's her saying, Baba.
Yeah. What's going on?
No.
What's up?
I'm trying to see.
What's up?
I'm not fighting anybody. I'd rather get beat up than fight. That's not who I am.
Why you keep disrespecting Baba G?
Why you keep disrespecting me? Why you keep being ungrateful?
It's because you trigger me.
Go inside, bro. It's your birthday, baby. We gonna turn up. Tat.
She also left and then came back. And then there was this video I found online where she comes back and they make her do this weird humiliation ritual. She like gets on a knee and does the 333 symbol.
Here's your blood.
What do you gotta say for yourself?
I embarrassed myself. I embarrassed my family. I made an irrational decision in a moment out of emotions. And I want to apologize to my family, to y'all, because, of course, I did it a couple times. This moment is special.
I don't understand why she went back. I don't understand why any of them go back. Right? And we've got about 10 or so minutes left. I know, I know that this is not easy to watch, but it's important to understand how this man was able to get these people to do this.
And the wives and he's like deliberately filming their bruises or one of them's bruises and their smiles, the saddest smile you'll ever see. I hate that video so much. And then he's like zooming in on one of the girls like bruises. Like it's like he's deliberately showing the abuse. I don't understand. He goes back to Atlanta, well, not Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia, to the house that I told you guys in the beginning that got raided, where he got arrested from. Okay. And he's spiraling. Okay. They're doing these live streams.
The black man is God.
Black man is God.
The black man is God. Tell him.
The black man is God.
Say, you have this control, King.
You have this control, King.
Down.
Now, oh my gosh, look at his face. Remember what I said about the women, that it's typically women that are utilized to lure other women in. Although he never physically went out and recruited anybody, he is ultimately recruiting people through social media, through brainwashing, through these lies, through this false sense of security, through this false sense of community. Where are the men now? You don't see the men doing the whatever that is with their hands, the triangle. I guess it's supposed to represent 3. You don't see them, with their 3 fingers. You don't see the guys like my 3, 3, 3. You don't see that.
Bitch, get in soup before I smack your fucking ass.
I'm Caesar. Caesar.
So apparently to them, that is how God speaks. But that's not what these women were saying in the beginning. And I can't imagine, because some of these ladies we learned through Tasha K's interview. And, if you guys don't have a membership on Tasha K Live, it's $12 a month. It's worth it, even if you just get it for 1 month and cancel. But the interviews are up there, and we get to hear some of these young women came from good homes. They weren't all broken homes. Some of these women came from homes where they at least knew a little bit about church, a little bit about the Bible, a little bit about the Lord. And so I couldn't imagine I'm sitting at the table next to Jesus, and because I don't put my hands up fast enough, he calls me out my name. This man is not God. He is the devil.
Return. Call me. I got that green shit. This is our handshake. Remember this handshake. This is the handshake of our genetics. This is our handshake. Right here. 1, 2.
Nature Boy would have been better off just moving to New York and going on auditions and trying to get into a movie or something, because he evidently likes acting. Excuse me. He evidently likes acting, but he quickly goes out of character as he slaps women and abuses them and verbally abuses them. And I'm going to tell you, verbal abuse can many times be just as bad as physical abuse. Okay. Sometimes to the point where you're like, you know what? Just hit me. Just hit me. I'd rather you just hit me and get it over with, rather than continuing to speak to me like this and scare me. And I'm sitting here every single time feeling like I'm about to get hit, but it never happened. Just hit me and get it over with.
All of my children, you better get this message to them. They got 3 days. Oh. Give me. Oh, that's even more better. Oh, yes, sir, master. Oh, yes, sir, master.
I programmed it. It's my zeros and ones everywhere.
You have 3 days, my friends. And when I move, you move.
Just like that.
I'm talking to all my children. Stop getting stuck watching me. You got 3 days to get here. Anybody that's not here by April 1st, well, your soul will be thrown into the abyss. Let it be written.
Let it be done.
You'll think you're alive, but everything will be weird for you. You are speaking to God. How may I help you? Oh, they always scared of me. Why are everybody so scared of me?
I'm such a loving person.
They're not in the middle of the jungle anymore. They're in the United States in a neighborhood, and they're neighbors, and people can see and hear this stuff. And they're also live streaming. So people are calling the cops on them while they're live streaming. And there's even footage of this.
You say we gon' be all right.
I don't even know if he had on clothes on right there, but you know. So apparently someone called the police, and this is, you know, happened before. These are all the young ladies that are in the Tasha K interview. We hear from all of them. And it's interesting because they can hardly speak. And the way that they're speaking, it's like they're trying so hard to choose their words carefully. They can't even articulate what it is that they're trying to say. And it's sad because clearly before they got with 3 God, they knew how to talk.
No, I got it. No, I ain't talking about that. I'm talking about child molestation.
Hell no.
You ain't say nothing about that live?
No.
Sure.
Hell.
Oh, that's your live right now?
That's my live. Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you more views now.
Hell yeah. No, I ain't say I was no child molester. They say I'm a child molester.
Right.
I'm teaching about nature and natural living. We always on camera. Everything on record. That's why I record everything. That's why I'm
You heard that, right? So when we talk about the parallels between Nesto and Nature Boy, you heard what he said. That's why I record everything. Why does Nature Boy record everything? What are you afraid of? Why do you feel the need to record everything? Nesto said the same thing. That's why I'm so glad I got that video. That's why I'm so glad that I be recording everything, that I got my stuff. Because Nesto was up to no good with his daughters, and I believe with Sheridan as well. Because she's not on the do not contact list for no reason. Right? Shirley's not on the do not contact list. Her name was on that lease. That fraudulent lease. There are some people saying that, well, no, you know, I don't think he did anything. Maybe it was because her name was on the fraudulent lease, and he, you know, forged her signature that she was leasing this house with him that they weren't paying rent on. But no, Shirley's not on the do not contact list. Why is Sheridan on the do not contact list along with these other daughters who are pleading with the judge, please don't let my father out? Okay. And Nesto knows exactly what they said because he got the discovery. He got all the documents. My point is he recorded to cover up what? What did he feel he needed protecting from? Who records their own child having a psychotic episode? Who has people record their quote unquote leader, cult leader, messiah, fake God with 3 God, Nature Boy, whatever you want to call him, physically assaulting one of their own members, and a woman at that, and a woman with a baby in her arms? So here are some of the similarities between these two. And someone mentioned pimp talk and that pimp mentality in the chat. And it is that manliness. You know, Infamous talked about it in her live. She likes manly men. She don't like those girly men. She likes bravado, that kind of man that's gonna pull your hair and put his hands around your neck. Like, you like that kind of thing. Yeah. That is these two.
Well, I'm recording you, so you good?
Yeah, we are peaceful people that teach meditation and living in tune with the universe.
You put your address online?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I want a bitch to try me.
You will walk out of camera on that one. Huh? You will walk off on that one.
No, I wouldn't walk. I want a nigga to try me. My address is 2993. My shit is 2993 what?
Arbor
Chase Drive.
Georgia.
30033.
What you doing on that? TikTok?
No, I'm on TikTok. I'm on everything. I'm Nature Boy. I'm 3 God.
I know. I've seen some of your videos.
Oh yeah, you know.
I've seen some of your videos.
You know what's how it is. A lot. And I'm about to go viral again. I got a lot of followers.
How many you on TikTok? Ballpark.
TikTok, how many we got?
On TikTok? 33.
33 right now. But my videos is going viral. I just put it on TikTok.
Like 33 people, like 33 33K.
33,000.
33,000, but we got our following all together.
So y'all also remember how Nesto was so obsessed with, you know, the views and not so much in him asking, well, what is the view count now? But in getting so excited whenever Sonya would tell him, oh yeah, that video got 10,000 views, or that one got 40,000 views. You know, he had his own plans to start a podcast.
Got 90,000 on YouTube.
Yeah, like I'm a pretty kind of people, bro. But the thing is, I'm about to be more famous in a minute.
I send you my invoice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you mean? What you mean?
Oh yeah, I can't do this for free.
Nah, man. All right, my boy, be good, man. All right. Yeah, he look like Mac Miller.
So now the police are like, yeah, I've been by there. You know, nothing nefarious is going on. Everything's all cool.
That happens in Atlanta. And to me, it was funny. Sorry, but it was. Basically, he goes to this nightclub called Boogaloo, and he tries to get in, and he comes with his women on his arm, and they have the feathers in their hair, and he's Nature Boy. And he basically gets denied entry into the club.
333.
But you follow me, you take my commands. Never G. The three.
Pushing three. Pushing three.
Always and forever loyal to the three.
Pushing three.
I'm the commander in chief. We in the valley of the shadow of death, and we will fear no evil. But listen, we will be humble. Oh, what's up, my boy? Oh, I'm not. I'm on social media. I'm promoting. Oh, no, he don't do social media. Get him off social media. He don't want social media. Cut him out. Oh, you good?
No, they not good.
So this is next year. That made my very controversial. What? I remember her lady, she came by my house to do a check. You always come by the house. She always come by the house when they do that wellness. No, they didn't film me. No. They got one on the inside.
So basically, they're denied entry into the club. Okay. Now, in response, look at what Nature Boy does, because he has to one up them, right? He can't look bad in front of his concubines.
They don't want me in there. You need to just relax. Being God is not cool. I'm pure love. Why are people scared of me?
You can't walk away. How do you walk away? You turn.
I'm scared of my own energy, and people are scared of me, and I don't know how to respond.
Now, Nature Boy started out sleeping on the floor. He didn't even have a mattress. I thought he had a mattress. He didn't have a mattress. Look at all them gold chains around his neck. Okay. How he get these gold chains? Primarily because, like in Ruthless on BET Plus, as people came in, they had to relinquish whatever monies they had to him. Okay, your savings, your debit card. Someone gave them their college fund.
I'm trying to get like you. I'm trying to get like you. I gotta go back to the car. They opening up the door. Goddamn. I'm trying to get like you. Hey, what's going on? What's y'all good name? What's y'all good? Nice. Look at y'all. Y'all going to Boogaloo?
So now he got to put on a show.
I'm confused. We on your camera, girl? It's my birthday, you know. So.
Happy birthday, girl.
Thank you. What y'all got going on? Y'all look nice. Y'all look sharp. Look at all the accessories.
No, this is God.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at her.
Hey y'all, it's my birthday. Follow me at allegedly B on Instagram.
What? Yeah.
I know that's right.
Down.
Everybody.
Let's meet y'all. That's a nice looking lady.
Oh.
Y'all keep up the good work.
I feel like he made them do all that because he felt embarrassed that he couldn't get into the club. So he's like, look what I can do. The walls are closing in.
Absolutely. That was all for show. That was to save face. Not too different from, you know, Nesto showing off with his cars, his RV. You know, he's washing his cars. He's sitting in the back. He's posed. You know, his con is the long con, different con. But Nesto is still a predator because he cons people into giving him their money in exchange for a promise for something else that they never get. It's the same with Nature Boy. Nature Boy promises them this life. Okay. In the previous live, we talked about the whole defecating on the tree and the fact that they weren't allowed to shower and weren't allowed to use the bathroom, and they had to defecate outside, and they would defecate, you know, on trees and things like that. And it makes me wonder, was part of Nature Boy's child abuse that he was denied being able to use the bathroom? Was he forced to use a chamber pot? Was he forced to, you know, defecate in whatever room he was being forced to sleep in, you know, in a corner or on the floor? Those things will always manifest some way, somehow, if they are not dealt with. And so clearly what we see is a manifestation of my theory is what is likely the abuse that Nature Boy suffered. I'm gonna get to the end of this video. There's just 2 minutes left. I'm gonna let it play uninterrupted, and then I'm gonna tell you what exactly I think happened with Nature Boy and how he was able to do all this in the first place. I'm gonna tell you exactly how and when I feel he evolved into a predator.
On Nature Boy. It is now March 2022. Something is about to happen that's going to end up being the reason why he gets arrested. And remember how he makes the girls smack each other? Well, one of these girls gets hit by another girl because she was directed to hit her, and she tries to leave. She says he doesn't let her leave. And in addition to that, he forces himself on her. That's what she said. She finds a way to leave. This upsets Nature Boy. He gets pissed. He posts videos of her having sex online. She then calls police and reports this, and that's when the investigation began. So the investigation lasts for 2 weeks, and that's when the police raid the home in Decatur and arrest Nature Boy. That is the story of Nature Boy in a nutshell. He is currently in jail. We'll see what happens. I had to pull myself and stop watching the live streams at one point. It was like turning into a problem. I can see why he had all these followers and people watching. It's like a horrible accident where you can't turn away, and you know you probably shouldn't be watching, but you're still totally watching. I hope the members do whatever makes them happy. I just want them to be happy, whatever that means for them. And you know, it is what it is. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.
So I would definitely encourage you to subscribe to Noor's channel. She has a number of videos. I like her reporting style, and she crafted this video so nicely that I just didn't feel the need to be jumping back and forth between this video and that video, because she basically had what I wanted to capture all in one video. And I will have a link to her channel down in the chat. And so what you don't see in this particular video that Noor did is when Nature Boy got his license, and then he started cutting hair, and then he got, you know, a room that he turned into his personal barbershop, started going after homosexual clientele. He had one client who he didn't know was very wealthy. this client says to him, why don't you why don't you have your own barbershop, a real barbershop? And he's like, I don't have the money. The guy says, well, I didn't ask you if you had the money or not. I just asked you if you wanted your own place. So ultimately the guy tells him, start looking for a place. Tell me how much it's going to cost, how much you're going to need. He's like, I probably need about 25K. He's like, get me a business plan. Another client of Nature Boy's crafted a business plan for him in 1 week. He did the whole thing for him in 1 week. And so he had a business plan, he had an investor. And so he opens this barbershop, or is supposed to open this barbershop. And it is at that moment that he begins to fall into the state of decline, because he convinces himself that he made those things happen. Somebody just gave him money because he thought about it. He thought that he was going to own his own barbershop, and he did. So he says, I made these things happen with my mind. Who does that sound like to you? Kind of sounds a little bit like this guy. Just a little bit. Now, the similarities between them two is that they were basically utilizing OPP, right? Other people's property, OPM, other people's money. And so with Nature Boy, he started he started down this path of thinking, oh, I can create things with my mind. I manifested this because I thought about it. Now, of course, obviously there was some action to it, right? He got a business plan. He started talking about it, and his barber license lapses. And then he ends up in Costa Rica, and he starts spinning this narrative that people are just giving him money. Somebody just gave me 300,000. When truth be told, people weren't just giving Nature Boy money. They weren't just giving him money. He was demanding that when they came to his cult or his land or wherever he was living, that they needed to relinquish all funds for the greater good of the community. And so he realized after a while, people were so fascinated with his teaching, they were doing things for him. And he realized he could, if he spun the words the right way, if he said the right thing, if he acted a certain way, if he played the part, he could get these people to do just about anything. And it went from them willingly doing these things to being ultimately forced to do these things, because now the power has gone to his head. Some of you said, well, where did they get the money for the chains and the cars? And, how is the Messiah going to the club and all this other stuff? Because he realized in his mind, I could teach that. I can teach the people how they can make things happen with their mind. If you want it, you can obtain it, right? He has a way with words. He has a way of speaking, and he's somewhat articulate, unlike our mushmouth Nesto, and he's easy to listen to. In the beginning, I'll say he starts going nuts once the drugs get in, the alcohol gets into the picture. But he begins again selling something that people are willing to leave their family for. This is what I need. I just want to go off the grid. I just want to live simple. I want to live off nature. And when they get there, they get into a trap. He lured them in. And for some of them, they were lured in via greed. I don't want to work for the man anymore. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I'm just going to go and live off the land. I don't want to work. And that is a lot of this new generation. They don't want to work. They don't want to work. They want to live off the land. And so it is in that moment when Nature Boy begins to talk about how he manifested this thing, and how, he's on another plane, and how he's talking, he's mixing all these different cultures and things like that. And these people are searching. They're searching for something. Unfortunately, they got more than they bargained for. I talked about a video with Malia and Velvet fighting. I'm not going to show that video because this was triggering enough. And one girl wounded the other really, really badly, and they showed the wound. And it was, I don't do guts and gore on here. That's not my thing on here. So I'm not going to show it. But just trust me when I tell you that the way that he was speaking to them, he was forcing these two women to fight the same way people force two pit bulls to fight each other. And that is what I saw. And what I saw is two women who really didn't want to fight each other, who were forced to do it. And the woman that didn't want to fight being threatened. I will take your life. I will unalive you. I will do this to you if you don't fight her. I'm going to get everybody here to jump you and to, beat you into submission and probably unalive you in the process. So we're going to quickly move on to our other predator, this man right here, who we all know as Nesto. Okay. Ernest Williams grew up in Georgia, Augusta, career criminal. This man has spent his entire life committing crimes. I don't know a whole lot about his family upbringing. I wasn't able to find out a whole lot, but clearly something has occurred in his life as well. When I look at how Nesto was able to do what he did, he needed somebody with influence who he could get into their network in order to access their net worth. And it just so happened to be Shirley Strawberry, who was someone who was somewhat codependent. She needed a manly man, someone who would be, willing to drive her around and, take care of everything, and she doesn't have to think. Okay. She was also looking for love. And she has a very interesting story about how she met Nesto in the first place. We won't get into that. That will be something totally different. I'm working on something that will be members only. And so that will be forthcoming. But he needed to access her network. And so Nesto didn't recruit in the sense of a cult. But what he did is he lured people in with his social media. Oh, this is my wife. She's famous. She's on the Steve Harvey. She's on the Steve Harvey morning show. Steve Harvey. Yeah. So I came from nothing and look at what I was able to achieve. He sold the rags to riches story. They're on his Instagram. They're looking at all these cars that he has, these luxury cars. They're looking at all these celebrities that, he apparently knows. But he knows these celebrities through her. And so Nesto's a gigolo. He also is a sexual deviant because he starts with connecting himself to someone who has status that he can leverage and use to meet other women and men, right? Invest in me. I need 10 good players. You see this RV? It cost $1 million. I can get this for $700K right now with 10 good players. 70,000 each. He conned women and men because he was disarming, soft-spoken. He's a little bit of a mush mouth. He's not really a danger to anyone. He looks good in a suit. As I said earlier, he conned women who were beautiful, who had careers, who were smart and intelligent. But Nesto has a lot of secrets. And so when we look at the parallel between Nesto and Nature Boy, we see two men who see nothing wrong with what they've done. Now, from time to time, Nature Boy, when he's gotten caught, he has come clean, unlike Nesto, who would just deny it to the end, right? No accountability whatsoever. Nesto sees his victims as a means to an end. Okay. They both use people for what they have. I need to get your money from you so that I can help you, but it's really for me. Nature Boy, when you come here, you need to detach from everything, your family, your old life. That means you need to detach from money. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. So you need to detach and give your money to me and detach so you can go on this spiritual journey. Does that not sound like the green waters that Nesto be talking about? You got to get yourself in the green waters and cleanse yourself. Okay. This pimp-like behavior. Nesto often seemingly kind of bullied Shirley a little bit. He would get loud to the point, okay, all right now. We heard that on the calls. I hated listening to them speak. Okay, but once again, Nesto, very much like Nature Boy, presented something that people wanted. People wanted status. Because who is Nesto without Shirley? Without her, there would be no Nesto. We wouldn't know Nesto. But if he can do it, this regular man, shopping at Rolex. Now, mind you, anybody can go and take a picture in front of the Rolex store in a fancy suit. Okay, I can go to the car dealership, or I can rent one of these cars for the day and take pictures. He lured people in with the idea of something that they felt they wanted that only Nesto could provide because of his connection to Shirley and by extension, Steve. Trucker D said he was also living in the land of illusions, and materialism of Atlanta is a hotbed for that mentality. Nesto sold a mirage to his victims. Tony B, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what he did. Is exactly what he did. He lured them in with the idea that I can help you, that only I can help you. You need me. It's about me because I can help you. When really, he was really just there to help himself and tried to excuse all of that away and took no accountability, primarily because of the help of his coach. So it's just an interesting parallel between these men who are both committing crimes in Atlanta, who are no angels, okay, who have somewhat of a God complex. Okay. Nesto was living the high life. He was feeling, like he was on top of the world. But again, I think with him, it was the fact that he sounds like someone who doesn't have much, and he's disarming. Nature Boy is all of you heard what Nature Boy told the cop. I'm all about nature. We're about natural living. But then when you get behind closed doors, who do we see? A predator. If you guys haven't seen the live that I did about Hazel, who is someone who just wanted a job in his barbershop and was hired to work there, and several times was made to remove her clothes in front of them and taken advantage of. It's that same gorilla pimp mentality that Trucker D was talking about. I think it was Trucker D that he laid on Sonia. Right. So he appears to be this nice guy, but then when you get him behind doors, he's a completely different person. Just like on the phone, he talk, you right, you sure is right. He goes from giving house ninja to being pimp ninja in the way that he talks when he's angry or when he's angered. He wants this undying loyalty. He says to Shirley, you're supposed to ride to the end. You're supposed to be my ride or die. You're not supposed to give up. I don't care if I'm in jail, if I'm not in jail, if I get a life sentence, I don't care where it is. You're supposed to stay. It's that same mentality that we hear and what we get from Nature Boy. Now, you're not supposed to leave. Why'd you leave? If you're not back by April such and such, your soul is going to be damned to the pits of hell type of thing. It's so interesting, the intricacies between these two men and how they live their lives. One who literally went out and looked for their next mark. And I'm going to tell you something. If Sonia had any money at all, she would have been a better mark. But she didn't have any money, so he got from her what he could. He could get her body every now and again. He got her loyalty. I said last night, if he could take Shirley and Sonia and put them in the same body, he would be a happy man, because he would get Shirley's money with Sonia's loyalty, undying, unfaltering, unintelligent loyalty. It was just shocking. And I don't know, do you guys think that Nature Boy looks a little bit like Nesto? Look at this picture on the left of Nesto in this gray shirt and look at Nature Boy. Now, I'm not trying to suggest that Nature Boy is the son of Nesto at all. You know, he's a foster child, so who knows? Who knows who his real parents are? But it's just striking with the career criminal situation. The rags, you know, to riches. I got to pull myself up by my bootstraps. The barbershop. You know, I'm going to do the barbershop thing. And then again, they both realize that they need a con, because the only way that they're going to be able to get ahead in life is to step on other people's necks and to stand on other people's shoulders, literally until that person suffocates and has nothing left. One became a cult leader. The other one became a master con artist. A master con artist. Trucker D said it's the same as Portia Williams' Nigerian husband who sold her an illusion based on her popularity. He was another Atlanta con man. Yeah, you know, and allegedly he has a whole new boo thing now, a new girlfriend. This can happen anywhere, but it seems to be Atlanta seems to be a haven for that. You know, they call Atlanta the new Hollywood, whereas people come here because this is probably the most concentrated area of wealthy Black people in the country. It's not the only, but it's probably one of the most, if not the most. So people come here with that dream of they're Black and they want to be somebody, right? And there's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. But if you contract with somebody, you need it in writing. And you don't give them all the money up front. You got to phase it out. And if they're not giving you what you paid for, don't give them any more money. You know, don't mix business with pleasure. Understand the red flags. If you feel uncomfortable, if you feel unsafe, you probably are. If you feel like you're in danger, you probably are. If something don't feel right, it probably isn't. Stacy Dawson said it was all about Nesto. Racio said, for some reason, it would never be enough where he's concerned. Narcissists are never satisfied. And there you go. They are both narcissistic. However, one has extreme mental illness. Now, Nesto, he may have something going on too. Or maybe his mental illness is that he's a narcissist. And it's just all about Nesto. And Nesto is only happy when Nesto is getting his way. He is a man-child. Now, if Nature Boy could get life in prison plus 10 years, okay? Because I'm pretty sure they were looking at these videos and looking at the footage and putting everything, you know, together. If Nature Boy can get life in prison plus 10 years for false imprisonment, for grape, for, you know, assault and a number of things, what do y'all think is going to happen with Nesto? Nesto said he cried when he heard that his CP charges were going to be dismissed. Now, he must not have been paying attention during that court hearing, because it's either dismissed with or without prejudice. Without prejudice means it's nole pros, means they sweep it under the rug and they can sweep it right back out at any time. Well, how about the prosecutor never filed the dismissal? So it's not even on paper. And they've decided that at least one of those charges, because it only takes one, they're going to send before the grand jury for an indictment in 1 month. How about that? Shea B says somebody get Tony B. Tony B said Nesto dropped a lot of wood around Atlanta. Tony B, Nightbot is gonna get you. You gonna end up reporting to the principal's office immediately. I also read somewhere or heard that Nesto has some type of STD or STI. You know, and like, let me see if I can bring this on the screen. Let me show you something. Very much like how Nature Boy has his concubines, right? There are his concubines. There they are again. Let me pull these, see if I can pull these pictures back up, because Nesto, he had his own version of this. Now, y'all saw in the video where these ladies, when he was like up and they went up against the wall, down, and they got down, you know, on one knee or was that not the same as Nesto having the ladies in the barbershop line up in a line and move when they said move? Was that not the same thing? See, Nesto's story is so complicated because it's twofold. It's not just the fact that, you know, he conned Ebony Steele and he conned Shirley and almost, you know, damn near bankrupt this woman and had her evicted, you know, 5 times and homeless with no car. It's what was going on in the barbershop. It's like a story within a story. I gotta try to pull these pictures up. Hang on, y'all. Let me pull these up. So I can show y'all what I'm talking about. You know, it's the same, that same, you know, sense of control. It made Nesto feel powerful, controlling these women and men in the way that he was controlling them, you know, having them line up like that, you know, in a row, and, you know, like it's the military, and having the ladies, you know, line up in a line so that the men can pick and choose which one they wanted to take back downstairs. It's absolutely disgusting. But you see a parallel there between the two. It's just with Nature Boy, you know, it was the extreme version of it. Here we go. I got it. It was the extreme version of that. You know, I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. And we can't necessarily blame the victims for falling into the trap, because they were searching for something and they found it in just in the wrong places, just in all the wrong places. So these are Nesto's ladies, okay, and how he had them line up, and, you know, everywhere he went with the cameras rolling. Okay, you heard Nature Boy talk about he always got the cameras, and Nesto always has the cameras. And I'm just wondering, did these two men meet up somewhere and talk about what they're going to do when they get out of jail? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. All right, I've got a few more photos that I'm going to show you, and then I'll read a couple of the comments, and then we're going to wrap up. When we talk about the evolution of a predator, predators are able to evolve because there is someone out there who will believe in them. There is someone out there who will ignore the red flags. There is someone out there who will perpetuate their behavior and make it easy. Oftentimes, predators, for example, Ted Bundy, Jeffrey Dahmer, will tell you, I did it because I got away with it. I did it because I got away with it. And these men have been getting away with what they've been doing. And it's incredibly sad, because, as I said, it is regular, normal women who are getting caught up in all of this foolishness. Okay? Regular women getting caught up. And remember, I said usually there is a woman that is used as a pawn to perpetuate their predatory behavior. Well, this woman right here goes by the name of Miss Jones. She was the manager. She knew what was going on along with the son, and she is one of the ones that helped Nesto do the things that he did. Okay? This regular old man who sometimes looks like he's homeless, but come with me, join me, be a part of me, and you can be like this, and you can have all this, because if I can do it, you can do it. Here are the ladies, okay? The ladies of the barbershop. What was their role and their purpose wearing stilettos? I don't know anybody cutting hair in stilettos. Okay? Here were his team. Okay. There is a video on Nesto's Instagram showing them lining up. I'm gonna drop some things in members for you guys regarding Nesto. I'll find the videos on his Instagram. I have them in one video or another, but I'll put them in short clips so you don't have to watch a whole long video just to get to it, of how he commands the people in his barbershop the same way Nature Boy commanded those women to stand up against that wall out in public, come down on one knee, get back up, sit down, and get back up like their property. Y'all cutting up community wood. Tony says he's on his way to the principal's office. Adores Aaliyah said it's termite infested wood. Oh no. Lynn said walking around with walkie-talkies down the street. He watched Nature Boy and thought he was smarter than he was. Too narcissistic to watch the story to the end. Wow. Yeah. I don't know who was watching who, but here you have the evolution of a predator. Because at the end of the day, all a predator needs is one person to fall prey. Tony B said, can I merge Nesto and Nature Boy's heads like the cartoon Voltron? Y'all crazy. Oh my God. I don't know about that one, Tony. I ain't making no promises, but I'll see what I can do. I will definitely see what I can do. Legacy Moon said it's a humiliation ritual. Absolutely. The Tasha K interview said it all. It did. If you guys didn't watch it, I think Nesto has absolutely convinced himself he's innocent. He has. He talks about how it's interesting to hear him praising God after he at the time is notified that his CP charges are going to be dropped, because I'm going to tell you that's what he was concerned about, because he knows what's going to happen to him being in prison with CP charges. And he knows that that alone carries 25 years. And if he has 4, that's a life. He would die in jail. He would die in jail. He would die in jail. See what else we got. My mom, 72, asked me what is a STI. When I told her, she said, say what? We used to call it the clap. Yeah. I believe Miss Jones was a victim of his too. Absolutely. Remember what I said. It only takes one person to fall for the con, to fall prey to the predator. And usually that person ends up being a method of recruitment of more. Yep. Before VD, it was called the clap. Exactly. It wasn't until recent years that I learned that people like him act this way because they feel they can, for no other reason. It's disturbing. Absolutely. It is. It is what narcissism does. The barbershop was a front for a brothel, allegedly. Absolutely. Absolutely. With women, with women standing in front of his bus. And there's so many more pictures that I can show you that I just don't have the time to bring up. I met Nesto was doing humiliation rituals in that barbershop. He certainly was. He was trying to break them down. That is exactly what Nature Boy is doing when he slaps the young man and he cusses at him and says, did I tell you to give me a strawberry and all of that? It's the kind of wearing them down where you're willing to do anything for that person just to not be abused. So it's not so much a willingness that I want to do this. And then there's a level of embarrassment, right? Because if I admit that this is crazy, that this is wrong, that this is a cult, then I have to admit that I fell for this bull crap. And that's embarrassing because people feel stupid. They feel like, how could I have fallen for this? And no one wants to admit their own stupidity. Look at Sonia. Look at Sonia. We told her about Nesto. We told her that he's using you. We told her he's got a whole bunch of stuff going on and you need to just stay out of it. The man is married. He's not going to wife you. He's using you. He told you he's using you. She said, well, if he's going to use anybody, he can go ahead and use me. She did that to herself, but even still, he conned her. She just kept going along with it. I know people may not want to see Sonia necessarily as a, as a victim, but she believed in him because he called her every day and checked on her while she was in the hospital. She believed in him because, they were intimate and she didn't know that he was married. And maybe she didn't know at first, but she found that at some point and chose to go back. There was some connection that he made. Whatever. I don't know what he did to her on that RV, but ma'am was stuck on wood. Okay. April Crumpton says they would talk about the local garden too. The what of you are happy? Clap your hands and stare at them. I don't know what that is. I remember my mom saying that the clap was gonorrhea. VD covered all of them. 70s, 80s, syphilis, I guess it's chlamydia, trick crabs, all that stuff. Yeah. I believe that's what I read, that Nesto has some stuff and he was giving it around. My mom would have been 85 if she were here. I remember good times talking about VD and she had explained it to me. Why are we talking about VD? Sonia was a willing participant. Absolutely. And see, this is why I get upset with her, because she was a willing participant, the same as those other victims, right? They were conned by him, at least one victim. But at some point, even when they felt like something wasn't right, they for whatever reason, whether it was I'm going to hang on because I'm trying to get my money back, I'm going to hang on because I'm hoping that he's telling the truth. It's like Arisa Tisa. They saw the red flags. They knew something was wrong, but they chose to continue doing what they were doing until they got to a point where they said, okay, enough is enough, right? Sonia, it just took her a little bit longer than the rest. Okay, it just took her a little bit longer to decide enough is enough. I'm done. I'm gone. Some people think that that's just an act, that it was just a ploy, that she's not really gone. Some people said, no, I don't know. I think she's out. She's wishy-washy. So who knows? Right? I think at this point in time, she feels like she's done. Is she really done? Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Okay? Because if this man does get indicted on those charges and goes to trial and ends up that he's really not getting out of jail, she's probably going to come back to visit. Eventually, she's probably going to end up going back. Hope not, but who knows? Nesto recorded things. I'm pretty sure that he used situations to try to blackmail people. I mean, he's doing it to his own children. I'm trying so hard to be serious, but y'all refuse to let me. I know. Lynn said he used them toys on Sonia and turned her out. I believe it. I believe she had an experience with him. And even though she says she's done, she still be giggling and smiling when it comes to certain things. All right. Y'all still talking about VD. Lucky you, my grandmother sent me to my room. Good times VD episode. Nasty's led us down this rabbit hole. Yeah, we blaming it on Nesto. Well, if he hadn't told her that was AI, if he hadn't told her that was AI and not him speaking, are you talking about Nesto? Legacy Moon, you talking about Nesto? Said, well, if he hadn't told her that was AI and not him speaking, that's funny. Nesto gonna blame it on AI. It wasn't me. But that is Nesto. Nesto does not take accountability for what he does. It's never him. He did it, he didn't do it. He talks about his crimes like, well, the CP stuff, I didn't do that. But if they say I did that other stuff, well, who knows? But he has evolved into a master predator. He has a way of disarming people with the fact that he is a mushmouth. He has the ability to cause women to give up their earthly possessions, including their own body, to this man in spite of him being married. All right, so I'm getting some real-time tea. Word on the street is Nesto might be transferred to a different facility. Now, only time will tell. But there's definitely some things going on with Nasty Nesto. And PCFP says she may not be able to get those calls. So we don't know. We don't know. There's a possibility, y'all. They might be moving him to another facility. And if Sonia is not coming to visit him anymore and not talking to him on the phone, then all he got left is Infamous and her prayer sessions. So yeah. Let me just get a couple more comments and we're gonna wrap this up. I think it took my mom by surprise. She was not comfortable with telling me, that's for sure. Y'all still talking about this. He told Sonia it was AI, not him. Like Sonia was on the phone when they were talking. He told Sonia it was AI. Lord have mercy, Jesus. Nesto has his friend Dre's hypertension going through the roof with his foolishness. Come here, Sonia. I have a rose for you. Chakadi. So anyway, y'all, once again, make sure that you guys check out Butters and Black Soaps. As I said, their products are the real deal. I do not stand behind anything that I don't try myself and that I'm not using. I'm using their products on a daily basis, which is why I can tell you. As a matter of fact, I'm about to see what my feet doing right now. Okay? Yep. I'm gonna tell you one thing, they smooth. I talked about the fact that before I started using their products, my feet felt like crackling. Like, you know how y'all be trying to smooth down your edges? I was trying to smooth down the rough edges on my damn feet, y'all. Listen, ain't no shame in my game. I'm just telling y'all the truth. And I suffer with dry skin, but baby, not no more. So I am more than satisfied with the quality of their products. And as I said, you can use the code WISDOM for a 15% discount. They have natural oils. They have whipped shea butter, raw shea butter, all type of essential oils, and they got them African black soaps, baby. All right. So check out their website. It's a Black-owned business. I do support Black enterprise. And as I said, I know that their products do what they claim because I've actually used them. So before Wisdom's Daughter, go on there and buy every damn thing because their products are handmade, y'all. This is not a store where they're getting products shipped in, you know, from Temu in India and carrying on in China. They make their products in the store. Everything is handmade. It doesn't get better than that. Chemical free, all natural. That's what you want to do. You want to go to buttersandblacksoaps.com, baby. All right, y'all. So listen, I have had so much fun. Thank you guys for being on. I know that we were small in number, but this was a topic that I felt that was important, and I knew the WDF will be in the building. Again, welcome and congrats to those who got gifted and those who chose to become members. The membership link is always going to be in the description on the video and the description on my channel if you should decide later on that you do want to become a member. Membership starts at $2.99. There are 2 levels. There's the Wisdom Ambassador level and the Wisdom VIP level. And so you can become a member at any time. I would love to have you in the family. And on that note, we about to roll out. But let me see. Y'all still going on with the foolishness. Tony B said, WD, can you send Sylvia, Sonia, Dre, and Nesto samples so they can feel clean again? Listen, they're going to have to go to the green waters, okay? They're going to have to go with Nesto to the green waters. That's the only way that they're going to get clean for what they got going on, all right? I'm just going to say it like that. Oh, my gosh. You guys are hilarious. Honeybee said, I got a chance to clear up something. Shea was told whenever Nesto transfers to the other county, those calls was a no. She found out it's a limit on time to get them. Got it. All right, y'all. This has been fun. Thank you so much. Nightbot said it's past his bedtime. It's past my bedtime. I love you all. I appreciate you. If you didn't like the video on the way in, like the video on the way out. And I will see y'all on the next one. Bye, y'all.